Namaste, Angels. This is the daily reading for today, Tuesday, August 28th. So yesterday, August 27th, Mars went direct at 10:05 a.m. It is in Capricorn, technically still in retrograde there in Capricorn, moving back into Aquarius on September 11th while still in shadow from its retrograde period. So the whole thing is considered a retrograde period, and then when the planet begins, it enters its shadow, and there's that period, right? That's the beginning of the retrograde. Then it goes full on retrograde, which is what we just experienced. Then it faces direct and goes back into shadow. And when that period is over, then the entire retrograde phase for a given planetary body is done. Until then, it's not. I have seen some like false information traveling the net about Mars retrograde being completely over. We could still feel some effects, but again, on the positive side, it has faced forward. So, and that's a little bit of a misnomer too, because it doesn't really turn backward. It just appears to. So it doesn't really turn forward, obviously, either. It just appears to, but it has done that. It's direct. So a lot of things, you can call them series of unfortunate events, is what we've been calling them, that you've been going through that could have involved, just being stuck, like wanting to move forward. Sometimes we don't even want to. We're for whatever reason, we're depressed, we're lazy, we don't even want to. But this would have been like occasions where you wanted to move forward, but that, just seemed like you were being held back, like almost physically held back. So that would have been the Mars retrograde in Capricorn. So there should be an ease on that, and you should feel yourself, like with the Mars forward moving action, literally action, with Mars being the planet of action, you should feel yourself being able to finally move forward. And this could have particularly been the case for those of us of the Aries and Scorpio zodiacs, because Mars is the ruler of those two planets. All right, I guess that's it. So also the day prior to that, the 26th, was of course the full moon in Pisces, and what we'll be experiencing as a result of that. I've described at length, I think in both readings, the love and the general, about how deeply we'll be, going within and doing a lot of self-evaluation and learning. So going into what went on this day in history, beginning with the year 1189, was the Third Crusade, and the Crusaders begin the siege of Acre under Guy of Lusignan. 1609, English explorer Henry Hudson discovers and explores the Delaware Bay. 1830, the first American-built locomotive. It's called Tom Thumb. It races a horse-drawn car from Stockton and Stokes Stagecoach Company from Baltimore to Ellicott Mills. So this is in the state of Maryland, it sounds like. Let history record that due to mechanical problems, the horse won. That's funny. It's kind of like the tortoise and the hare, or the knight of Earth, right? I always say he's like that slow and steady wins the race. He is behind in the race the other knights, but often beats them out, or in completing the goal. 1845, Scientific American magazine publishes its first issue. 1845, of course, 9/9. 1864, the first Geneva Convention governing rules of warfare is signed by 26 nations. And in 1963, Martin Luther King Jr. delivers his I Have a Dream speech, addressing Civil Rights March at Lincoln Memorial. Oh, I don't know why I'm so tongue-tied today, in Washington, D.C. Did you know pharmacists John and Leah William Perrins manufacture Worcester sauce? I'm not sure if I say that correctly, ever, not just on this. But they made the sauce, Liam Perrins, on this day in the year 1837. Famous birthdays: Johann Wolfgang von Goethe, Jack Kirby, Shania Twain. Would you believe 10 suffragists are arrested as they picket the White House on this day in the year 1917, which is also 9/9. Famous weddings: Statesman John Hancock, who was 38, weds hostess Dorothy Quincy, who was also, I'm sorry, she wasn't also 38. She was 28, so 10 years his junior. They got married in Fairfield, Connecticut. 1811 or 911 or 11, English romantic poet Percy Bysshe Shelley, who was 19, elopes to Scotland with his first wife, Harriet Westbrook, who was 16. 1924, British children's writer Enid Blyton, 27, marries editor Major Hugh Alexander Pollock, DSO, who was 36. 1968, one-day marriage of character Murphy Brown. And 1997, British Indian novelist and essayist Salman Rushdie, 50, weds Elizabeth West. Famous divorces: in 1953, jazz musician Ella Fitzgerald, who was 36, divorces bass player Ray Brown, who was 27, after 6 years of marriage. 9 years her junior, and each of their ages also equates to 9, so it seems that's the number of the day. She was 36 equals 9, he was 27 equals 9. 2009 or 11, Blake Fielder Civil, who was 27, divorces Grammy Award-winning singer Amy Winehouse, who was 25, due to adultery after 2 years of marriage. Famous deaths: Albert Frederick, I'm still tongue-tied, Frederick Law Olmsted, Emmett Till. Emmett Till was American. He's a murder victim, an African-American boy. Emmett was murdered in Mississippi at the age of 14 after reportedly flirting with a white woman. That white woman, by the way, has since come forward and admitted that she completely lied, and this boy died for nothing. His mother wouldn't allow his death to be in vain, however. She made sure that pictures were taken of her son's body in his casket, open casket funeral, even though he was completely unrecognizable. His body was swollen because they had tied a weight to him and threw him in the bottom, threw him in the river where he sunk to the bottom. He had been beaten, bashed in the head, like stabbed, shot, hung, so he didn't even look like a human being anymore, let alone himself. But that's the picture that has traveled possibly and likely the world since his death, and was part of the civil rights movement, in getting that going. None of that is here, by the way. They stop at after the fact that he flirted with a white woman. They just leave it there, and that it's completely incomplete, if you ask me. So I had to explain further what went on. In any case, he was born on July 25th in 1941. He was a Leo from Webb, Mississippi, USA. He died on August 28th in 1955, again at the age of 14. He was kidnapped and lynched. Frederick Law Olmsted was American, a landscape architect and a writer. He designed New York Central Park, which is another thing. New York Central Park is built on land that was stolen from first the Indians and then the slaves. It was the black community in New York, and they just did whatever they had to do with the people, or to the people, and took the land and made the park. None of that is here either, of course, but you can look it up if you don't believe me, although I'm sure you do. In any case, he was born on April 26th in the year 1822, which is 1111. He was a Taurus from Hartford, Connecticut, USA. He died on August 28th in 1903 at the age of 81, another 9. Going back up to the birthdays, Shania Twain is 53. She's Canadian and a singer. She's referred to as the Queen of Country Pop. She's one of the most commercially successful artists of all time, having sold over 85 million albums. 85 also equals 1111 or 13. She's received 5 Grammy Awards. In 2004, she retired from performing due to a weakening singing voice, however. She was born on August 28th in 1965 and is 53 years old, a Virgo from Windsor, Ontario, Canada. Jack Kirby was a comic book artist and writer. He's famous for Captain America and the Fantastic Four. He was born on August 28th in 1917, which is another 9-9. And he was a Virgo. August 28th is also a 9, actually. But the year 1917 is a 9-9. He was a Virgo from New York City, New York, USA. I know that year, although my mind just added it up as it always does. But I know that year otherwise to be a 9-9 because that is the same year as Our Lady of Fatima. He died on February 6th in the year 1994 at the age of 76 of heart failure. And Johann Wolfgang von Goethe was a social philosopher, a writer and a statesman whose body of work includes epic and lyric poetry written in a variety of meters and styles, prose and verse dramas, memoirs and autobiography, literary and aesthetic criticism, treatises on botany, anatomy, and color, and 4 novels. In addition, numerous literary and scientific fragments, more than 10,000 letters, and nearly 3,000 drawings by him are also extant. He was born on August 28th in 1749 and was a Virgo from Frankfurt, Germany. He died on February 22nd, so 222, in the year 1832 at the age of 82. Of heart failure, and he was the last of the birthdays. So going to the dice, we're beginning with spend money, but 29 was also looking me in the face, just so you know. Spiritual partnership, email, and try again, wanting to get my attention. See, they're all like staring at me. This one is dirty movie, so maybe that goes along with the email or some sort of electronic communication like FaceTime or something. And stay in bed. So maybe you do it from there. You don't even, you just lounge around and chat if you're able to do that. Spirit says no. Dirty movie yet again. And buy shoes. So we did see in the readings for the week that there may be some walking shoes involved with this week. And in shuffling the cards today, I did see the 3 of Air. I think the Knight of Air. Major Arcana card Justice, representing the sign of Libra. So that could be from where all the air is coming. This one, Judgment. So Judgment and Justice. That might be it. Somebody could be, again, walking away from something or someone, divorcing it. Could be an actual legal divorce or other legal situation going down for somebody today. Major Arcana card Judgment is another 11. And what it says here on the card, review and evaluate. A favorable assessment of the facts. It's time to move in a new direction. So as it relates to relationships, which it might represent with the 2 here, it's about, and this isn't for any kind of relationship, it's about having come to like a crossroad and you need to decide like, okay, so now what's up? Like, where do we go from here? If anywhere. Sometimes you don't go anywhere, the relationship is over. And there's your walking shoes. There's a need for you to buy shoes right there. Or maybe you're going to come back together. You're going to reunite with somebody. Like is sort of pictured here. And so maybe you need the shoes to walk toward someone or something too, and to walk away from something else first. Opening 2, that's what it looks like. Because opening to the Dreamer, which is Major Arcana card, the Fool in the traditional tarot. In this deck, it tends to represent the planet Mercury for me, which is the ruler of both Virgo and Gemini, to stay in the theme of air, with all the air cards I've seen so far. And it is about walking a brand new path, like one that you never had before. So you might need the shoes for this as well. A leap of faith. Follow your dreams. That leads to unexpected opportunities. Also, they reference a leap of faith. Faith is also represented by the number 2, or in numerology. Renewal. There's that 3 of Air I told you about. Great sadness. Take time to heal. There's a need to forgive yourself and others. So for some, especially if you consider the dice that we had together, at least the The try again that was staring me in my face, and the 29 for spiritual partnership. For some, again, this could be there was some sort of hurt. That's why we're coming to this place of judgment. There was pain, and we're going to see. So now we're at the crossroad, and we're going to see, you know, where do we go from here? Again, if anywhere. Could also be a loss of something, right? That could be the judgment. If there's a legal situation going on, there could be a loss. I know imprisonment came up for the masculine in I think it was the love reading, and I felt that it meant for some that they were actually in jail or going. So you know, it could be connected to that too. Maybe this is like a loss of freedom. And opening to the 3 of fire, abundance, things look very good. Have patience at this time and make long-term plans. So 3 on 3, we also expected to see a lot of 3s, or I expected that we would, and we did. For the weekly readings, I attributed that to the fact that the Pisces moon was 3 degrees 12, both of those, of course, equaling 3. This 3 of fire can be about abundance, or, you know, I think more likely it has something to do with some sort of party of 3, possibly even a love triangle. And we've also been seeing that. I've been saying for the past at least week that I had seen difficulty between a fire sign, an air sign, and an earth sign. And we did just have also the dreamer, the Fool, in this deck, which I said represents for me Gemini and Virgo. There's your air, there's your earth, here's your fire. 3 of fire and the 9 of air. Somebody could be worried, anxious, maybe because they do have a legal situation going on or something serious going on. Someone's ill or something. They're worried about the loss, or they're paranoid about a breakup, or, you know, losing a friend or something, friendship ending. Expecting the worst, self-fulfilling prophecy, sleepless nights. 9 of air, one more. It's the Queen of air. Independent, experienced, realistic, and witty, and can absolutely represent that justice, that Libra energy that popped up here. But also Aquarius and Gemini, of course, which we've also seen. We've also seen the Gemini energy with the new path. Objective decision making, clearing away all that no longer serves you and seeing the humor in a situation. So that can also be the case too. Queen of air cuts things away that no longer serve her. That doesn't mean she's not sad to see them go sometimes. Sometimes she is sad to see the things, people, places, and things go from her life, but she just knows they're not good for her anymore. She's not good for them, or it's, you know, it's mutual, whatever. And so she dispenses with them. Again, that doesn't mean that we don't, the fact that we're about to embark upon a new path doesn't mean that we don't at all mourn the old one. So that can also be why the 3 of air showed up here and why there's worry. Air signs are paranoid. And Gemini in particular, and Mercury, is the ruler of the nervous system, and, you know, just super anxious and speedy, you know, sort of like naturally high all the time on some sort of upper. As I say all this, right behind the 9 of air is yet another 3. So we've seen 3 3s. That equals the 9. And this one does also represent the signs of Libra, Gemini, and Taurus. So there's more air and earth. Lavish abundance. Give birth to your dreams and nurture yourself and others. Something could be going on with somebody's mother too, or mother figure, or there could be a need to take care of yourself and you're worried about a health issue or something. Maybe getting a little bit anxious or paranoid about a health issue. And there's a need to, you know, take time to work on you and check on you. But behind this, I was just made to look, you know, I don't normally do this, but I was made to put this down and look behind the Queen of air and look what it is. It's the 6 of air. Things are looking up. It's the end of a difficult situation. It could be even taking a trip. So that's positivity. However, also upright behind it is the 5 of fire, competing goals, bothersome details, and conflict with others. So that can be the case too for some. Again, you know, some sort of friction between friends or something, some sort of drama. When it's the 5 of fire and wands as opposed to air, that typically means for me that there is conflict if not with oneself, like inner turmoil, which this could be attributed to too. Somebody's, again, worried and panicked and whatnot, anxious. Then it is close friends and or family with whom we are feuding or something. Behind that, also things going on behind the scenes, the universe working on a problem for us. The Eight of Fire is always positive energy for me. You know, I've never felt anything negative about the Eight of Fire. Events moving at a fast pace, delays are over, and many things are happening at once. So maybe you're anxious because you're waiting for an outcome. Like, when is it going to happen? When are we going to get news? And, you know, it does come. It does come. And lead to, you know, more positive energy as well. There could be something involving travel too, and maybe specifically travel over water, with the Six of Water having shown up. Otherwise, it's metaphorical about, you know, moving into calmer, stiller waters, more positive times. And speak of the Knight of Earth that I talked about earlier when I was going over the news of the day, the events of the day. Loyal, dedicated, honorable, and kind is the Knight of Earth. Slow and steady wins the race is his, you know, forte, his theme. Time to buckle down and get things done. Honor your commitments. You have a guardian angel. This Knight of Earth is a Capricorn, possibly. Because again, Capricorn, where Mars had been, you know, in full-on retrograde, and where just recently, yesterday, went direct. Can be a Virgo, especially with the Fool having shown up here, the Dreamer. And can easily be a Taurus, especially with the Empress having shown up here. It doesn't have to be an Earth sign at all, though. It can be, you know, anybody likened to those traits or attributes in this time. Crowning the masculine is the Nine of Earth, enjoying life's little luxuries, spending quiet time alone, and successful self-employment. This could be some of them doing just that, spending time alone, that self-awareness into which I said we needed to come. The Nine of Earth is like a minor arcana version of another Nine of Earth, which is the Hermit, which represents the sign of Virgo, and it's all about coming into enlightenment and going within and sort of being both the teacher and student in our own lives and learning more about ourselves, like truly. This can be representing the fact that he is actually single as it relates to relationships, and out of, you know, a tumultuous situation that he had been in. Surrounded by the Seven of Air, plans that need revision, more going on than meets the eye, and poor timing. So this is the energy of joy stealing, and somebody could be, or something could still be trying to do that to him, and maybe that's why he's sort of taking time to be by himself and get some things figured out. This can also be about, you know, like low self-esteem and confidence, which would also be a reason to go within and spend some time getting to know you, like you, and love you. Masculine subconscious is the Two of Earth. Too much going on at once. There's a need to make a decision. Consider a more playful approach. Could be a need for balance and restoration, you know, getting himself back to normal, finding time to be both social and to work, you know, home and work life. But, you know, particularly in this position here with the subconscious, he could be contemplating, you know, giving one earthly thing up for another, like to better manage his time and you know, in life. Crowning the feminine is the King of Fire, motivational, idealistic, ambitious, and charismatic. Focus, focus, focus. Communicate with vision and be a leader. Take advice from someone creative. The King of Fire is a Leo, Sagittarius, Aries, maybe a Scorpio. Could be the representation of the divine masculine in the tarot as well. Or just somebody of these traits or attributes. Feminine is surrounded by the Seven of Earth. We have the Seven mirroring the Seven. So spirituality could be coming into play too. God, maybe that's the esteem. You're getting to, you need to get to know yourself and to trust yourself as a more spiritual and divine being here for the masculine. And for the feminine, she needs to learn, you know, the patience that when we make an intention, and then we have to actually have the faith that it's going to come true, and belief that it will manifest, and that's what this is about. So it could both be, in both cases, there's a need to get more in tune with one's own spirituality at the root. It's yet another 7. Look at that. Major Arcana card, the Chariot, with Archangel Metatron, which does represent the sign of Cancer, perhaps another water sign. An important achievement, self-discipline and willpower, public recognition. This can have to do with one's vehicle. And that's not usually not what I pick up first, but it's what came to me first just now. There could be something with a vehicle, feminine, maybe considering buying a car, or waiting the money to buy a car, or for the loan to come through or something, for her to be able to take that sort of action. King of Fire, definitely about taking action and working on a goal. The Chariot is a major card of victory and triumph. It's also about travel. So again, having seen also the 6 of air, that too about travel or moving and movement. We could have been stagnant before. There was nothing moving, and now, maybe that's why we're sort of impatient, because things hadn't been moving at all before, but they're about to really get moving. Modes of transportation also, planes, trains, automobiles. Again, it could have something to do with somebody's vehicle. You may want to be patient on the roads and mindful of that, and not, watch your road rage potentially, and also like speeding. We don't want any tickets. Crowning. It is the 6 of water, memories from your history or childhood, issues regarding children, and romanticizing the past. The 6 of water is also a soulmate or past life relationship card in the tarot, but it can be about revisiting relationships from our life, our childhood, maybe something with our parents, especially having seen the Empress, maybe something specifically with one's mother, something that they picked up, and there's a need to revisit those situations. Connected possibly to the other retrogrades that are still going on, which is Saturn in Capricorn, Pluto in Capricorn, Chiron in Aries, Neptune in Pisces. That may be it off the top of my head. At the root, speaking of Neptune and Pisces, it is the Page of Water, which is a Pisces for me. It can also be a Cancer, Scorpio, or anyone likened to these traits or attributes, and making some sort of offer of love, or receiving an offer of love, perhaps to a soulmate or to a child. Page of Water itself can represent a child often too. Intuitive, sensitive, artistic, and friendly. It's the Page of Water. A new person enters your life. A romantic, I said a romantic, so maybe that's what the case is. That's not what it says here in the card. A relationship begins a new phase. It doesn't specify a romantic relationship, but that's quite possible. Also, heightened psychic abilities, especially since I said it, and that it's sitting here next to the Chariot, which sort of faces it. Right, the Chariot is facing this way. So again, maybe a relationship, a romantic relationship specifically, since I said that, and with a soulmate or divine partner or something, suddenly there's movement on it where it had been sort of stagnant, stale before. And at the heart of the matter, it's another 7. 7, 7, 7, 7 equals 28 equals 1, new beginning. Defeat your beliefs. Defend your beliefs and decisions. Stand your ground. Choose your battles wisely. So this could be connected to this and the joy-stealing energy or people, and also to the 5 of fire that we saw earlier, the drama that people wanted to bring. Maybe they are disagreeing with some decisions that you've made in your life, or that you're in the process of making. Maybe this going single, maybe this approaching a soulmate, maybe this making an offer of love, maybe this movement or moving, whatever. People need to mind their own business, and you may decide to tell them just that. Or you might decide not to tell them anything, not to even acknowledge them, and to just walk away. That's going to be up to you when it comes to the Seven of Fire. I will take this next upright card to look a little more closely at the masculine Seven of Air. And it is the Seven of Water. They're playing with me. There go the sirens too. A complex decision. The need to do research. Stop procrastinating. So it's possible we're not going to find out specifically with what the decision has to do. There is one more card up right behind it. So I will pull that one too. Perhaps this can tell us with what does this decision the masculine has to make involve. Four of Air. Four of Air is also about the need to make a decision. So yes, they are playing with me today. We're playing with us. Time to rest or take a vacation. Allow more time before making a decision. Meditation may provide answers. So they want the masculine specifically, possibly the feminine too, but definitely the masculine with all this energy of making a decision. The Two of Earth, the Four of Air, the Seven of Water, all of these about making a decision. They want him to be the Knight of Earth in making that decision. That means like make a plan first, like really be practical and think about it and figure this thing out, and then make a plan and stick to it and carry it out. This could have to do with moving and movement too, or, you know, like plans to take a vacation, plans to get moving on something after we recover from the last bit of whatever we've gone through. This is also upward progress from the Three of Air. So again, that's in the past. That's a hurt that we've already experienced, or a loss from which we've already walked away. And now we're here now, recovering, being made whole again, getting our energy back, regenerating, so to speak. And then, you know, in that time and process, we may need to, again, also make some decisions. And it looks like that is the case for the masculine. And that meditation can help him. Maybe that's why he needs to be by himself. Okay, spending time with nature, going within, that's going to help him to come up with this decision. As far as the feminine, I don't really think we have much to possibly clarify, but I will go ahead and look at the Chariot and see for the most part with what that has to do. And they're doing it to me again. It is the Moon with Archangel Haniel. Important psychic insights, events behind the scenes, release fears that hold you back. The Moon in the tarot represents the sign of Pisces. So this could be tied to Pisces and or Neptune, and the Pisces full moon specifically that we just experienced on the 26th. That could cause or bring about some sort of movement for you in an area that they're not going to reveal to me. And I'm seeing that there's a random card in here, which is interesting because I don't remember even using recently the Animal Tarot. Guess what it is? It is another Seven of Fire. Be assertive. Believe in yourself. And there go the sirens continuing too. And don't let anyone take away your personal power. Trust that your inner guidance is true and follow it completely. So that's for us. This moon and the need to be patient may just be like, stop worrying again about the movement or move or both in your life. Even though there's things that you don't know, there's information you don't have, the universe has yet to reveal it, and be patient. Soon you will be able to take some sort of action, and that soon is going to be based on and determined by you. As soon as you can get moving forward, you know, without the worry and concern and paranoia, is when that time will be for you. So it'll be different for each of us. Further advice to the masculine, Major Arcana card 5, Unity, the High Priest, the Hierophant. Traditional viewpoints or methods, spiritual organizations, seek out mentors and like-minded friends. The Hierophant represents the sign of Taurus in the tarot. Also, There could be some situation going on again with an earth sign, and maybe specifically a Taurus. Maybe that's from whom you are walking away. I had seen in the cards over the past few weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, problems with, I said specifically a Taurus with the masculine. So that could be the case. The Hierophant or High Priest is often about the people, places, and things with which we surround ourselves, and the need to make some adjustments there because certain things don't no longer align with us, with our life purpose, with our higher good, our higher purpose, and so we need to chuck them. Queen of Swords style. That could be about what the decision is for the masculine. It's also about commitment, so that can be what the offer of love is, right? He's deciding, do I make some sort of offer or proposal or something towards someone? Now that I'm out of that other situation that was painful and I've begun to recover, what are my next steps? That's the masculine. Feminine, the 10 of fire. So whatever the difficulty is for us, that also coming to an end soon. Too much work, accept help from others. Life is out of balance, and that can lead to stress-related health concerns. So there's something that's not 50-50. You've been carrying the load yourself, feminine, and that could be what you want to get moving and take action on rectifying that. But the energy is surrounding us for it to indeed be rectified and come to an end and move on to this, which was also revealed when I picked up these cards. Wow. Okay. I gotta tell you something else now. But behind the cards that were upright in the pile underneath our overall energy of the Knight of Earth is also the Ace of Fire. So that comes after the 10. An exciting new opportunity, career advancement, change your life now. I didn't mention it before because this one was upside down, but it's the next card, the next energy. But just now when I went to pick it up, I instead picked up this one also and revealed that behind that is this 3 of air. Great sadness, take time to heal, the need to forgive yourself and others, and it is upright. So it's connected to whether or not we take, we take this new beginning, or we receive this opportunity. And again, that whether we receive the opportunity or not is dependent on us and our reaction and how we approach and handle a situation in our lives that's going to be different for all of us, but involves either metaphoric movement forward or physically moving or travel. Okay? I hope that you guys have enjoyed the daily reading and find it helpful. Namaste, angels.